Hi, this is the Black Bear Prepper again, and we're going on with our backpacking videos here. This particular video is going to talk about sizing and care of backpacks. First of all, with all of our backpacks, we want to make sure that we're storing them in a climate-controlled environment. These are not meant to go in the garage. As soon as they go in the garage, all of your straps are going to get real stiff, they're going to be stuck in place, and they won't work. The next thing we want to do is every time we go into a store, we want to make sure they have weight to put in the backpacks. So something we use rice. So I'm a big fan, these are 5-pound bags. I like to see at least a good 15 to 20 pounds in the backpack, 15 for girls, 20 for boys. It works really well in the backpack that way. And then we've actually stuffed it full of some shirts and some sleeping bags and things like that. So we're gonna go ahead and put that last bag in there. You can make your own if you're going to do a troop and you want to have everybody sized up. You can make your own bags, but I always recommend putting the rice inside of a Ziploc before you sew up your bag. So we're going to go ahead and put this down, clip it all in. We're going to tighten it down so there's not a lot of movement in the pack. Even though it's not exactly perfect, I want to make sure that happens. Now, a real big thing that I've seen people do is they pick up on their shoulder straps to put the pack on. So they're going to grab here and try to swing it over their backpacks. That is the easiest way to rip your shoulder straps off. I've actually watched people pick up their packs just before a trip and rip that whole shoulder strap off. That trip becomes very uncomfortable without shoulder straps. And unless you've got a sewing kit and pretty decent sewing skills, you're in trouble. So we want to grab with the top hand with our off hand. So whichever hand you decide to grab with, the opposite of what you're going to put the shoulder on. So I'm going to put the shoulder on my right shoulder, so I'm going to grab with my left hand. I'm going to pick up on the pack, lean it across my back, and slide it on that shoulder. Okay? So I'm going to keep that, and once I let go, now I don't have very much weight at all on this shoulder strap here, because now it's on my body. I'm going to lean forward. I'm going to go ahead and put my other shoulder strap on and bring that pack around. Okay? Now we're going to go ahead and talk a little bit about sizing. So we're going to have our sizing dummy come here. Now, what we're going to look for is he's going to put his hands on his hips, and we want to see that top of that bone where his hands are. And then we're going to look on his back here, and there's the first vertebrae right there on his back. We're going to take a measuring tape and we're going to measure from here to that point right there where it crosses across his back. And he's about 17 and a half, which in most pack brands would put him in a small. This is why I don't like putting him into most of the pack brands yet. He's going to keep growing. He's going to grow another 3 or 4 at least inches, which means that he's going to grow up in this area here. He may be a large by the time he's done growing. If we buy him a standard pack, instead of buying like a Deuter, which is adjustable, we buy him a pack that's set to that small size. 6 months later, that pack might not fit him anymore. What's nice about the Deuters is we're able to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and have him. So we've already measured him. So if you're going to buy a pack online, you want to make sure you measure that. It works the same for girls as it does for boys. So that point up in the back of it, you'll feel it right on the back of your neck, that little point, and then cross his hips right across the back there. And then we're going to go ahead and have him slide on the pack here. So we're going to have him, I'm going to go ahead and lift it up for him. Go ahead and just put it on the strap here. Now he's going to lean forward and put on his waist belt. Okay, now he's going to turn to the side here. He's going to lean forward. Okay, tighten up your waist belt. We always want to start here. We want to keep going until it's tightened up. Tighten up the other side too. Okay, if we can, we want to make sure we tighten evenly on both sides so that buckle is in the center. The other thing you'll see here is we want it to make sure that where the center of that strap is, that hip belt, is right on his bone. So if his bone is right here, we want this hip belt on both sides of that. He's next going to tighten up underneath his armpits here. So pull it down on both sides. Okay, you got him tight. We want him slightly snugger than he feels that he needs them. So at this point, go ahead and tighten up one more time on your hip belt. Give it one more good jerk. Then he's going to reach up here to the top where his load straps are. Right here, right here. And he's going to pull that load strap down on both sides. Now this is where we were talking about a little bit before, where if we don't have any kind of suspension system in the pack, these will just fold right down on his back, and that won't allow it to come off. We want to be able to get 1 to 2 fingers underneath that pack, right in this area, right underneath that shoulder strap. So I want to be able to stick a finger underneath there. If I don't have any suspension, or if I'm not using a framed pack, there's nothing to hold this up, and it just folds over on itself, and there's no support off the pack. When he gets above 25 pounds, that will be fairly uncomfortable. Now the other thing he's going to do is we're going to spin him a little bit to the right here, and here's his chest sternum strap. We're going to go ahead and pop that in. He's going to take a deep breath all the way in and see how it tightens up. We're going to want to pop it, and we're going to take a deep breath, hold it, and we want to snug it up just to where it's snug right there. Okay? We do not want it too tight because he won't be able to breathe. The other thing we want is there's a hole in his neck right here. We want to go about 2 to 3 inches below that. So this could even go up slightly higher, about to here. Okay? The other thing we want to see is on his shoulder load lifters here. We want that at the center of his shoulder. We want the pack to be able to wrap all the way around to his back. We don't want it coming straight across here. We want it to wrap all the way around and stop. Okay? So that pack will load off of him. The last strap we're going to go ahead and do is down here on his sides. He's going to go ahead and pull that side strap. That takes the pack and ties it to the hip belt, so he doesn't get a lot of movement when he's moving his hips. Okay? Now, when he's sitting there, go ahead and lean forward just slightly. Now he can hold the pack just fine. There's a lot of, he's taking all the discomfort out of the pack. Now, if we follow this rule of a bottom to top system, so we start at the hip belt, do our armpit straps or our shoulder straps, load lifters, chest strap, and finishing with our pack to hip belt attachment. Okay? The pack will be very well fitted to him. He wants to do that every single time he takes off the pack, which means if he's going to take off the pack, he loosens the bottom here first. He'll go up here, he'll loosen up his chest strap, pop that guy loose. He's going to come up here, he's going to loosen his load lifters, and he's going to go ahead and come underneath his armpits, and then he'll loosen his hip belt. It's very easy to loosen the hip belt at this point when he just takes his thumb and pushes it underneath there. As soon as he pops it, it won't loosen very easily anymore. So we're going to do that one more time. So we're going to go ahead and have him, so tighten up your hip belt, do your armpits, load lifters, okay, chest strap, and he's going to finish with his hip belt on both sides. He's going to do that every time he puts it on. So it should be completely loosened up and completely put on. I'll tell you, this is the biggest problem I see with people that have uncomfortable packs. They have not fit the pack to them properly, or they have not adjusted the pack every single time they put it on. So that's really important. The next thing we're going to do here is I'm going to show you the duck back type system or pack covers. These are real easy to put on. So if we're in a rainy type situation, again, the hole in the bottom goes to the bottom. We're going to take it, we're going to slide it over the pack, crap it underneath, and turn. This is a 60-liter pack. This is an 80-liter, pack cover. It's a little big for this one, but it will probably be fine once he puts a little bit more weight in this pack. We don't have much in this guy. So kind of figure out, it's better to have slightly bigger than too small, because a lot of times you'll get a little extra height out of this pack once he gets it all packed. And it'll have a few things on the side, maybe a pad or a tent or something like that. So it's always better to have a little big, and then you can always kind of tuck it in and cinch it down a little bit to make up for that. I really do like the REI version because it has this heavy-duty bottom on there, so when you set it on the ground, it doesn't tear up. I've had several of these, and they work very well for keeping your pack fairly dry during that kind of a situation, without making the pack slick on your back if you put a trash bag over the thing. So, kind of key points here. We want to make sure that we're using the proper, stance of putting it on. So we want to make sure we measure our back, make sure the pack is set to us, so we have that rounding over the top. We want to make sure that when we put it on, we take it off the same way. So starting at the bottom, working our way to the top, and then we take it off the same way, starting at the top and working our way to the bottom. Okay, that will help with a lot of this. Again, making sure, if you can, that whenever you're trying on a pack, you're putting at least 15 to 20 pounds in there. If you're doing a winter pack, you may even want to put a little bit more in there. Most stores, REIs, places like that, will have weight to put in the pack and have somebody there to size it. You want to make sure, this is more important than anything, is that this load strap is at a 45-degree angle. Okay, if I size this pack down, I can go off these second straps with the Deuter system. But I do not want to buy a pack where this strap is coming straight back. Now it's just pulling the weight to me. It does not help with making the pack comfortable. So this gives him a lot of comfort. Notice I can't get my fingers underneath there. As soon as I pull here, I can get my fingers all the way up underneath there. So much more comfortable. Again, women's packs are designed for their shape, so the shape of their shoulder straps will be different. Make sure that if you are women, women out there, look for that pack that is designed for you, and then make sure you're still getting that. A lot of places will try to size you too small. Make sure you got that 45-degree angle there. Packs for scouting that we like to see are in the 55 to 65 liter range. If you stay in that range right there, you'll be better off. A lot of times you can get down into the 30-liter range. That's too small for anything but summer camping, where we don't want you to be going out there and buying 15 packs. If they get to that point where you've got multiple backpacks, that's fine, but we want to start out right around that 60-liter mark for their first pack. That gives them some variability in the ability to be able to do snow camping, do a little summer camping, winter camping, and they're not doing 60, 70 miles and they're young. They'll be able to handle the extra weight. So this is the Black Bear Prepper. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the bottom. Like and share. Tell us what you like about the videos or videos you want to see. And as always, come to our roundtables.